All right, 11 o'clock. Welcome back to WFMY News 2 Plus and another weather update as we get into the middle of the day. Still expecting strong or even some severe thunderstorms as we move into the afternoon. And of course, if you're just now catching up on the weather from the last couple of days, this is a bit of a shift from what our forecast was originally very early on in the week. We've been talking about these changes now for several days and sort of leading up to the weekend. Today, I think, is going to be our best opportunity for some of those scattered showers and storms. And the pollen excuse me, pollen is getting to me this morning. Giselle, I'm going to have you take over. I keep sneezing. All right. Pollen is going to leave me alone for the next little while. Okay. Scattered rain and storms on the way for the afternoon and evening. And I will tell you, if you don't have it yet, now's a great time to go ahead and get the News 2 weather app. It is totally free. It's got live radar. You can track what we're seeing in real time. Plus, it gives you an up-to-date forecast, and it will alert you if any warnings or any alerts are issued for your area. So it's a good tool to download. A weather impact alert in effect for the afternoon. It'll continue on into tonight as well. Taking a live look across the Piedmont here as we go into the middle of the day on this Saturday. We do have some extra clouds around. There are a few peaks of sun here and there, but the clouds are really going to be with us for much of the day. And again, it's not going to be wet really until the afternoon. So if you're out and about doing things this morning, you have things you want to get done, chores, errands you want to run, you're going to be fine all the way through lunchtime and early afternoon. But much after that, I can't really make any guarantees. All right, it is comfortable though, up to around 70 in most of the Triad communities, 70 Burlington, 70 High Point, Walnut Cove at 70, Stoneville, you're at 70. Winston-Salem and Greensboro sitting in the upper 60s. We're at 73 already in Siler City. Asheboro, you're at 68, 69 in Statesville, and low to mid 60s up over the foothills and mountains this morning as well. Getting a little breezy too. Maybe you've noticed that. Nothing crazy, but some wind out of the south and southwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour as a general rule. We're seeing some gusts up to about 15 to 20. So again, nothing crazy, but it is a noticeable breeze out the door heading into lunchtime today. Here's what the satellite radar combo looks like this morning. Again, just the clouds for now. A couple of sprinkles over the foothills, a quick little shower up in the Wilkesboros, but really nothing much to be worried about. And that's going to be the case for the next few hours. You'll look down across the Carolinas. We are dry, just some clouds rolling into South Carolina. A couple little showers off the coast of Charleston there. Again, no big deal. But on a wider picture back to the west, it's pretty easy to tell where our cold front is. Here's our cold front out over the Tennessee Valley. And as it inches closer to us, our rain chance goes up. Again, a couple of showers and even a few storms down to the south. That's what our area is going to look like as we go later into the afternoon and into the evening. So what's the setup like? Well, if you think back the last couple of days, you know how we've been warm? We've been a little sticky. Well, you can thank high pressure for that. A big dome, a big ridge of high pressure that we call it in the weather department, sitting out over the ocean off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. What's that's been doing is winds around a high pressure system spin clockwise. So that's been punching in south and southwest winds, which bring in the warm air, bringing the humidity out of the Gulf as well. And that's what's been keeping us warm the last couple of days. And really, for the most part, the heat and humidity is what has been driving that afternoon chance of a shower or a storm here or there. But really, it's been luck of the draw on who gets rain and who doesn't. Now, the change here the last couple of days has been this cold front and the speed of its approach. Earlier in the week, Monday and Tuesday, we originally thought by now this front would be on past us. We'd have dry, clear, cooler, mid-70 weather for the weekend. We've seen that trend really slow this down. And part of the reason for that is high pressure is so strong. Low pressure can never move high pressure out of the way, just as a general rule of thumb. So with this strong ridge in place, that cold front, as it works its way closer to us, really starts to slow down and almost stall out across our area. So that's why the rain chance is back for the weekend and why we're talking about a couple of days of honestly having at least an opportunity for some rain. Once that front slides by, heading into your Sunday, the area of low pressure with this front is going to get stuck, or what we call cut off, from the rest of this weather system. So it's going to sit and spin over our area for a couple of days until some other kind of weather system comes along to sweep it out of the way. So until that happens, we'll at least have the opportunity for a few showers or some rain or some storms for the next couple of days and on into early next week. Here's what it looks like on Futurecast. I'm going to fast forward. I'm actually going to step out of the way, and I'm going to back this up and slow this down just a little bit so that you get a better picture of what we're expecting heading into the afternoon. And bear with me as I get my graphics kind of set up here to do this just once again. I just want it to go through in time a little bit slower than we were originally. All right, let's take it right here. Here's 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're heading into 4 and 5 o'clock, and you'll notice by then I expect that we're going to have some scattered showers across the Piedmont to contend with. That means afternoon plans, evening plans, maybe the Saturday dinner plans probably are going to be a little bit wet. And I think there's a good opportunity for all of us today to get at least some rain, whether it's just a drop or whether it's an inch. I think that's possible all across the area. You'll see they continue as we move into the dinner time hour through the evening, 7 and 8 o'clock. And as they move north, I think that they could strengthen a bit. So some of these could really pack a punch, not only with just torrential rain, but also frequent lightning and also some damaging winds and hail possible this afternoon too. Scattered showers and storms continue on through the evening into late tonight. So this is an issue really from about 2 p.m. through about midnight. After that, I think anything that's big and strong and bad out there should be coming to an end and tapering off. But even in the overnight hours, we could have some scattered rain or some scattered showers that continue up through about sunrise on Sunday morning. Even a shower or two that may linger midday. We'll have the clouds around, but we'll start to clear things out and some sunshine comes back for Sunday midday and Sunday afternoon. However, this is trending drier. I wouldn't rule out an isolated shower or a storm Sunday, but it is trending to be a drier day of weather, and that is a nice trend. We will take that after what is likely to be a busy evening for your Saturday. Our area in a level 2 risk, that's that yellow shading for severe storms. Now that's upgraded from a level 1 that we were talking about early yesterday morning. That doesn't necessarily mean that the storms are going to be worse or that they're going to be really bad. It just means that more of our area is likely to see storms, that they're going to be more widespread. So that can be a little misleading if you see that, but that is what that means for our area today. Main concerns for us today are wind, potential for some damaging wind gusts that could bring down a tree, cause some power outages. Also some hail in these storms are possible today too. I also, even though it's a lower risk, I wouldn't rule out some flash flooding, especially in some of those typical trouble spots. If it rains really heavy over one area for a while, with this setup today, it's possible for you to get really torrential rain and then get it again and again and again. And that will cause a lot of flooding problems in some spots. So we'll watch for that. Again, that's an isolated threat. The tornado risk is not zero today, but it's also not very high, and it's not something that's really in our main concerns for today. Even though it's low, it's something we'll still keep an eye on for you, but damaging wind and hail and some flash flooding in spots would be our main concern. Think about this, especially if you're heading out for Saturday dinner plans, maybe you have plans to be places, shows you're going to see. Watch out for ponding on the roadways and a hydroplaning concern, especially where those torrential rain bands set up. So in the meantime, as we go into the afternoon, I mentioned make sure you have several ways to get alerts, several ways to get warnings. If you see a watch that gets issued, that doesn't mean that that kind of weather is happening at the moment. It just means that conditions are right. I could foresee a situation where a severe thunderstorm watch is issued for our area later this afternoon. It's just an extra way for you to remember to be paying attention to what's happening in the weather. And of course, if you get a warning issue that comes across your phone or comes across whatever avenue you're getting your alerts on, that means that dangerous weather is happening now. If it's in your area, you need to take cover. Or if it's in a county or maybe a neighborhood close by to you, it's a good idea to start getting ready and know where you're going to go if that storm moves your way. All right, as far as rainfall totals go, we do need some rain. This is just a really tough situation to get it in because we may get a lot in a short amount of time, which could cause the flooding, and a lot of that water would run off rather than actually soaking down into the ground. But around 1 inch to maybe 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches, just depending on where those heavier thunderstorms set up. So by the time that we're said and done with this map will likely look a bit scattered by tomorrow. But I do think 1 inch, maybe more than that, is possible for many of our areas. And once this moves out, we're still not done with the rain. Today, easily though, is our best opportunity. Tomorrow, best opportunity comes in the very early morning hours through about sunrise and midday. After that, just an isolated shower or storm is possible. So Sunday is not looking like a very wet day of weather to me. Monday, same scenario, just an isolated shower or storm possible. I don't foresee it being a super wet day of weather, but you may be one of the lucky few that catch one of those showers or a pop-up storm. By Tuesday, heading into the middle of next week, I expect that we're going to be drying things out for a couple of days. And that would be much welcome news, wouldn't it? There's the plan for today, continuing with some clouds and temperatures in the mid-70s through lunchtime. Once we get to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we're likely seeing scattered storms across the area. So I want you paying attention to that. Few could be strong or severe. Again, keep it in mind. Any outdoor plans that you've got, I'd probably cancel them or have a backup option ready to go. And I'd be getting that in the works right now because I do think it's going to be tough for outdoor plans this evening. All right, Hoppers game included. They've got a game at 6:30 downtown Greensboro, First National Bank Field. Temperatures likely around 70, but we're likely to have scattered storms in the area too. So it may be tough to get baseball in this evening. All right, there's your 7-day forecast. Once we move past today, Sunday's drier, still that low chance of a pop-up shower or storm, and we're cooler with highs in the 70s. Monday has that chance for, again, an isolated shower or storm. But again, not everybody gets one of those. Overall, I think a lot of us will stay dry Monday. Into Tuesday and Wednesday. Hey, we're finally dry for a couple of days. Upper 70s near 80. We'll bring back a low pop-up shower and storm chance by the end of next week. And Giselle, that's just kind of the time of year we're in. It's pop-up storm season once again.
Wow. I feel like I'm seeing these weather forecasts and I'm getting whiplash. Yesterday was such a beautiful sunny day. Now today we're hearing there's rain coming. I wanted to ask what happened. I know it was supposed to be sunny this weekend.
About 5 days ago, we were thinking this weekend was going to be beautiful. Right, my band had a concert planned tonight in a city close by, and that of course has been canceled. And it's really just what has evolved over the last week with the slower arrival of the cold front. Like I said, that cold front can never move high pressure out of the way. So we like the warm weather, we like the warmth that we've had this week, but it's really hard for that front to move that out of the way. So as it runs into that, it really slows down. And with that front here, it taps into our heat and humidity potential and really sort of acts as a spark to get those showers and storms going. So that's what's changed. It's not something that sprung up on us quick like yesterday. You know, we've been talking about it for a couple of days. So I hope people have had the opportunity to prepare, maybe change plans, make backup options, because I would encourage doing that if you haven't done it yet. I would encourage that for this evening.
Yes. And something else you mentioned, talking about tornadoes and then even getting into possibly hail. What are some things that people should just be on the lookout for? It seemed like it wasn't too serious, but still something to watch out for.
Yeah, I'd just be paying attention. You know, I wouldn't cancel going out to dinner. I wouldn't cancel maybe going shopping, but no, you're likely probably going to be dodging a shower or a storm. And just know there is the potential, while I don't expect every storm to be big and bad, 1 or 2 storms may produce a damaging wind gust or may produce some hail. And you know, we've had a couple of hailstorms over the last month or so. One put hail damage in my truck that I've still got to get fixed. You know, there was another one a couple of weeks ago that caused some damage for folks. So just watch out for that and know that's a possibility. And again, if you're driving this evening and you get under one of those heavier bands of rain or those heavier thunderstorms, hydroplaning would be a concern on the roadway. So watch for the ponding, especially on the side of the roads.
And hearing about all this rain, I'm thinking, I know we've been talking about a drought that we've had going on, whether it was moderately dry or so. But then I also, when I heard those sneezes, I was thinking too about the pollen. Could the rain wash away the pollen?
It will. It will. Pollen's been high the last couple of days, clearly. This afternoon will not be the case, and tomorrow should be a little bit better too, with it being a little cooler, with things still being damp. Of course, all that pollen, when the wind kicked up yesterday, I saw the pollen like floating through the eyes, floating through the air. And so that should bring some of that that's still hanging on in the trees, should bring some of that down to the ground. So that should help in that. As far as the drought goes, we're still in a drought. We do need rain, but we need a good, basically a blanket general rainfall of 1.5 inches or 2 over the course of a few days. We're in that season now where that's really tough to get, and a lot of our storms are driven by the heat and humidity. The cold front is really helping it today. But the problem is, even though I expect a lot of us to get storms and a lot of us to get rain, there's a good chance that a lot of it could come down in a short amount of time. And so when you have that flood concern or that ponding concern, it washes away. It never has the opportunity to soak down into the ground. So this should help some, but I don't think it will alleviate our drought.
Wow. I know you mentioned having some plans. I have some plans myself this afternoon. And you mentioned something we could all pull up on our phones. That way we can keep up to date, just like how you're able to keep up to date.
That's right. If you don't have the News 2 weather app yet, it's totally free. Shameless plug here. But it really is a good thing to have. Not only does it give you an hour-by-hour forecast, I talked about multiple ways that you can get alerts that will push alerts to your phone if a watch or a warning gets issued for your area. You can set that based on where you live. It also has real-time radar. So the radar that we see here at the station that we track in the weather department, you can also track along with radar at home. And it doesn't have to be just today, right? That can mean any day that there's rain, any day that there's a storm chance. You can pull that up, see where it's at, maybe see where it's headed. And there's even Futurecast predictive radar on there that kind of gives you an idea of what you can expect if you're somewhere and maybe you want to stay there for 30 minutes or an hour. You can see that on the radar, so it's a good tool to have.
Wow. And just that last reminder for our viewers so they know if they have plans, whether it's this afternoon or really later on today, as they're heading out, to make sure, what should they do in preparation for that?
Yeah, I would just say if you have any loose items in the yard, maybe chairs or trampolines, anything like that, just tie them down, secure them, make sure they're good to go. And I would also say, at least at my house, the pollen falling from the trees, the oak pollen, was had filled the gutters a couple of weeks ago. So I cleaned the gutters out, took care of that. So if that's a thing that's at your house today, maybe clean those out so that water has somewhere to go, because it really could be a situation where it rains really heavy over your area for 30 minutes, an hour, or maybe more than that, just depending on how the storms stack up. So just think about those things in preparation, those loose items, tie them down and bring them inside.
Yeah, I remember, just a quick side note, when I was doing, it was like heavy rain coverage, another weather impact alert in Latham Park, that area, it floods a lot.
Yeah,
that was literally what I saw in nearly all of the drains: sticks, stones, and pollen. I was like, wow.
Yeah, so if you have any of that around your home or in your gutters, clear that out, and then you should be in good shape today. But of course, we'll have more updates this afternoon. Again, don't forget that weather app. It's free. You can use it to track along with us for the afternoon and just stay weather aware. We'll be keeping you updated. For now, have a great rest of your Saturday.